All right, hey everybody. Hope you guys are having a great Thursday. We will start in a minute or two as more people come on in. It's gonna be an exciting one today. All right, guys, just another minute. Pretty excited to talk with some of our guests today. Synesthesia by Heisenberg. Haven't spoken with you yet, so a long-time supporter. It'll be a fun chat. All right, let's go ahead and get started with our updates. One big milestone we hit was 1 million NFTs minted on Stargaze. And also something that everyone's been waiting for, interchain NFTs are now one step away. There is a Commonwealth prop right now made by ARC to deploy the contracts. If you're curious what we've been up to and you've been missing all of these spaces, there is a summer update post on our mirror, what we've been doing kind of the last 2 months. Go and have a look. It's chock full of pretty much everything you would see here and read in our Twitter updates. We do also have the IBC Minter fees in governance today. It ends today, and after that, the IBC Minter will be deployed. Their Osmo in the community pool has also been liquid staked through Stride and returned back to the community pool. I think we ended up with about 231,000 staked Osmo roughly. Also, the Squids one click buys from Ethereum to Stars will be live today. We're a Squid router, so that's pretty exciting. It'll make onboarding a whole lot easier for people from EVM world to Stargaze. And now I'd like to go and introduce our projects launching tomorrow. Let's go ahead and hear from Synesthesia first. Hello, Synesthesia.
How's everyone? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you very well.
Good stuff. Yeah, I was a bit nervous it wouldn't work. First places where I'm probably talking, I think. So, yeah, nice to be here. Thanks.
First off, I'd like to, for people who don't know, you are Heisenberg or the Heisenberg. We see you online all the time. This is your first project.
Yeah, that's right.
Stargaze. Really excited to chat with you. So I guess if you could just tell us a little bit about yourself first and how you got involved with Stargaze and your background in photography.
Yeah, sure. So, I managed to get into the Cosmos ecosystem sort of fairly early. I think it was actually first browsing the website. And I just thought, you know what, this is still very sort of newbie days. And I thought, well, that looks like an alternative and everything seems pretty polished. But yeah, long story short, hopped into the Cosmos ecosystem. And then, along came Stars. And been there since day one, since the airdrop. And it's actually been brilliant experience, a big learning curve. I mean, I knew absolutely nothing about NFTs. So, it's been great. Met a lot of fantastic people. And looking forward to what's coming. I think Stargaze is going to be quite massive. So it's exciting times, and I'm glad to be there from the beginning. I mean, minting bad kids for 100 stars, can't complain.
Yeah, no, that was a great deal you got there, and only the people from the very start of Stargaze were able to be involved with that.
Exactly, yeah. And then from a photography perspective, probably started like about 8 years ago. Sort of bought my very first little bridge camera. The quality wasn't excellent, but I had always had an interest in taking photos. And when I was trying to sort of edit them, sort of make them up more high res, and just trying to sort of polish them up, I just realized the quality wasn't good enough. So yeah, I made the stepping stones into sort of DSLRs, and probably for the last 6 years, I've been quite into it, sort of hobbyist. So it's not like a daily event, but more so, when I'm popping out wherever I go on vacations and stuff like it. And yeah, very much into wildlife, nature photography. That's my primary thing. I've just, find being around in nature as well as taking photos, it's just very soothing. It allows you to be by yourself with your own thoughts, which I think is quite important. And so I thought it's kind of time. A lot of people have commented on images and saying I should get them out there. And I thought, what better place than Stargaze? There's obviously sites overseas and internationally and so on and so forth where you can put your photographs up for sale. But what better than a great community, lots of friends. You've got immediate feedback. You can also determine what people like or don't like. So I think this is an absolutely perfect platform. And considering that, as yet, and hopefully there will be more, but not a lot of photographers about in terms of NFTs. So I thought, well, let's sort of get the bow rolling with one extra person and see how it goes.
Yeah, I know, beautiful. Yeah, and I'm hoping that this is going to be the start to multiple Synesthesia or Heisenberg collections.
Oh, definitely, yeah. So synesthesia, this is my sort of my litmus test. It's just sort of putting it out there, like getting in people an idea of, what my photo looks like, so to speak. And then, yeah, I've got plans down the line. I've probably a lot more wildlife photography, but it'll be a mix. There'll be different genres. There'll also be nature, probably quite a bit of abstract photography as well. And then even down the line, just from a fun aspect, I might sort of dabble with some digital art, maybe some generative stuff, so on and so forth. So yeah, I've got quite a bit of plans. It's just got to tackle it in between, the normal 9 to 5 work days. As you can tell, my Heisenberg account's always busy. I'm always promoting other projects and just having fun making videos for them. So this is a little thing on the side, so to speak. But yeah, I'd like to get a lot more into it. And if I'm hoping that people like my images, and that's what it's all about. If you like something and it resonates with you, all the better. And I've tried to make the file size sort of relatively large too. So, people should be able to, you know, put up a decent print of it, whether it's, framed or digitally framed. And, if someone buys it just for that, seriously, it's made my day. It's all about getting art out there and, fellow people who appreciate it. So, yeah, very exciting.
Yeah, so can you tell us a little bit about this specific image and how you chose it to be your first deployment?
Yeah, sure. Well, I've always loved elephants. Sorry, excuse me. I've always loved elephants, and they just got such an imposing presence. But they're also, really just, to put a cliched phrase, gentle giants. Absolutely intrigued by them. And this specific case, was a special day. I was actually staying at a private game lodge, and it's very rare for not many guests to be there. And on that specific day, I was just me and the game, sort of the game ranger. We went for an early morning drive. We managed to see not a single elephant probably for about an hour, and we managed to eventually track them down. And this specific one, I think his name is Rambo, which they've nicknamed him, just started coming up from a distance, just stopped, stared at us, very, very calm, and there was no one else about, no one talking, no one taking photographs, except for me after enjoying it. And I just thought it was quite an imposing image. And also with you know with the sort of the tusk trade and the ivory trade, which is, it's quite something. They've also got 24-hour anti-poaching units there. So, from a number of aspects, just the image-wise, how imposing it is, and, the sort of how threatened they are with regards to poaching. I just thought it was, all in all, quite a wholesome and also a sort of emotional image to put up, if someone resonates with that way, especially when it comes to, African wildlife. So I thought I'd start with that one.
And when exactly did you take this image?
This was taken probably 2 years ago at sort of a private game lodge run about, I think it was about 100. Well, I'm trying to convert that into miles now. I would guess probably about 180 miles away from me. So yeah, 2 years old. And I'm sitting on quite a few images, which, I really like, but I haven't actually put them out there. So I've got a nice little sort of wildlife collection, which, will come in due course, whether it be an open edition or live auctions. I've just got to determine that on the fly. But yeah.
That's great. Yeah, I don't know. And you probably are aware that I think Wild Developer was the first one to do a little a wildlife photography collection. I think sometime last year, and
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
there
No,
was in
I
there.
remember that. Yeah, and Pajon and all of them. So I've obviously had an eye on them when they come up, and I think, oof, photography. So yeah, I thought, no, this is perfect. Stargaze is a perfect place. So that's why I created my other account, because my one's super busy just with retweeting and stuff like that. So this is more dedicated. It won't be super busy, but it'll be engaging, and I'll put up images and polls and see what people may like or want. So I'm going to try and engage with the community, as much as I can. And then, maybe at some time also, maybe a little Discord, I'll open that up too, just trying to juggle everything. But I've got my foot in the door, so to speak. So yeah, very happy and very excited.
Yeah, it is really exciting to to see someone who's so active and who helps other projects and is an avid collector to come and create their own collection, basically like create a brand, a brand of collection on here. It's very exciting and very commendable. Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, appreciate it.
Are there any other photographers or wildlife photographers that you look towards or you're inspired by?
Ironically, it's not really a wildlife photographer. There are many which I enjoy, but the one guy I really enjoy, and he's from a portrait photography perspective, ironically, as his name's Lee Jeffries. Um, yeah, if you look up his work, I find it very, very haunting. So I'm quite into portrait photography as well. I'm not a very self-confident person, but I have a lot of people ask me, and I do some portraits for free, and I've got very good feedback. So I looked a lot at his work and just the style, and it's something I'd actually like to replicate at some stage too. So from a single individual, it's actually not wildlife; it's a portrait photographer. He takes some of homeless people, people on Skid Row. Yeah, like I said, very haunting images. So that resonates with you quite a bit. I like images where it stirs you. You feel something visceral from them.
Right, right. Yeah, you're able to actually take something away, not just a general street photography image.
Exactly. Yeah.
Awesome. Let's go and hear from Ghost Friends right now.
Hey, can everyone hear me?
Hey, we can hear you loud and clear. Welcome.
Thank you, thank you. This is FN Ghost. You can call me Ghost or FN or just that guy. I don't care. But thank you so much for having us on today. Very excited to get to talk to everyone.
Yeah, excited to talk to you too. Can you tell us a little bit about your journey to Stargaze and some background about this project?
Yeah, absolutely. So, the journey with Stargaze actually started out post Terra collapse. I was a very dedicated lunatic, as I'm sure quite a few others in here may have been at the time. But, anyways, it all fell apart, and out of the ashes of that came Kujira. I had quite a bit of fellow lunatics who wanted to get together and do something fun and exciting. And so we formed Kuji DAO, which is one of the validators on the Kujira blockchain. And from there, we ended up getting, I think it was Shrimp Gang was actually the first Kujira-based NFT that ended up launching. If not, then it was Kujirans. I apologize to whichever one I'm messing up on. But regardless, I believe it was Shrimp Gang. I ended up minting some Shrimp Gang. I'd never been to Stargaze before, and I thought it was just a really cool concept to have a whole app chain dedicated to an NFT marketplace. Then I found a few other NFT projects that I really resonated with. And throughout that time, I started to think about what could be done with some NFTs, and so I decided to move ahead not too far after and begin Ghost Friends, which was the first collection that we made with Ghosts in the Chain. And Ghost Friends was really well received both by the Kujira and the Stargaze community. We've met a lot of really great people through that, acquired a lot of really awesome friends along the way. I've gotten to connect with a lot of other projects such as ONFT with Wolfman. I see you out there, buddy. Homestead, he's here as well. So all Keeks. I see Keeks in here from Kujirans. So it's been such a great, amazing experience to get to connect and communicate and coordinate with some of these other projects. And so we kind of move forward. We launched Ghost Friends. We minted out in about a week and a half with that without too much advertising, I'd say. I mean, we tried to get the word around, but nothing crazy. And it's been great ever since. We have some utility involving DeFi. We put up a poll every 4 weeks for Ghost Friends holders to be able to vote on the direction of the rewards allocation. We set aside, over 75% of the mint from Ghost Friends to kind of launch a cool DeFi utility initiative that could reward holders, grow a backed value, which is held in Kuji, the native staking token for Kujira chain. And then, we reward some stars every week as well. Compound some of it, and we were even doing a buyback and burn at different points. So we're just experimenting, seeing what the community, what the holders want, and letting them cast a vote every 4 weeks to choose that direction. And now looking towards moving Ghost Friends, the first collection, into a DAO structure. So more on that. I know that's not what this is about, but anyways, that's how I came to Stargaze. I've absolutely fallen in love with the chain, the community, and so happy and appreciative to be here.
Oh, I know. Thank you very much. No, this is definitely your chance to talk about the project. So if you want to talk about the new DAO restructuring, I know these are supposed to be a membership pass, right? And so feel free to expand on that.
Yeah, so I'll just make sure that I'm clear with my wording on here. So Ghost Frenz was the Genesis collection. The new collection is Ghost Frenz Pixel Club. So it's an entirely different collection. It's a whole different outlook on everything. It's an extension to the Ghosts in the Chain family, so to speak. So this is our second collection, where Ghost Frenz, the Genesis collection, which is going to that DAO structure, that's focused more on the DeFi yield possibilities and opportunities in that aspect, whereas Ghost Frenz Pixel Club is much more concerned with the art, community engagement, and the friends aspect, about growing that friend network, having a great place for anyone from any chain in Cosmos or EVM, if they want to port over, then, having a place where we can all get together, have some fun. We plan on having some different cool opportunities that we can present to holders. We don't want to stick to a set utility for this collection, because, realistically, it just leaves so much more room to run with, and to be able to change and pivot to do something else that's interesting, and maybe, surprise holders with something random from time to time. So, we're trying to leave it kind of open for this collection, where every holder will have access to a special Ghost Frenz Pixel Club room that we have on our Discord. And we plan on doing a lot of fun things, but really just having it be a place for all, as we say in the description, a place where all the lost souls of Cosmos can come together and be friends, have a place where we can talk about anything and everything, from smoking weed to playing with nunchucks to what's going on in crypto to what's going on in regular life. We just want it to be an awesome place where any holder can come in, have a great time, and really coordinate and make some new friends. Really, crypto is sometimes a place where some chains are completely dead on the community aspect, and it's very refreshing to see with Stargaze, with NFTs, I guess, in general, the amount of community engagement that is there, and people that want to connect with others. And we personally believe that a lot of the future is going to be those NFT communities being, the go-to place to hang out. Like, hey, it's Friday night, we're having a digital rave over in the Ghost Frenz Pixel Club, or, have different online events and, things of that nature, and just have a great time.
Yeah, that sounds like a super fun project. I settle on Ghosts to be the character. Is it also play on like Ghost in the Shell?
So it's funny that you ask that. Ghost in the Shell, I had heard of it before, but I hadn't even really connected the two when I picked out the name on it. I just thought, Ghosts in the Chain, were ghosts on the blockchain. So I thought it was a cool little name, and the acronym GITSY I thought was pretty cool and catchy. So we just went with it. With that said, I like the occasional anime. I have nothing against Ghosts in the Shell or, some other cool animes out there. Awkward silence.
Okay, guys, I think my other Twitter account somehow got messed up. Can you guys hear me from here? Hello?
I can hear you loud and clear. Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah,
Okay,
we
great.
lost
Yeah.
you for a minute there.
Something happened. Yeah, it's always some kind of Twitter issue these days. But I think last thing I remember you saying was that you were not aware of Ghost in the Shell.
Aware of Ghost in the Shell, but not intentionally playing off of the name.
Right. Yeah. So the ghosts were just something fun to do. As like a fun character you guys kind of came up with.
Yeah. So I mean, it actually kind of goes a little personal for me. I mean, myself, I'm the primary artist on everything that we've released so far, and a ghost to me is it kind of has almost an emotional connection. I'm not going to sit here and give a sob story, but I was that quiet kid in the back of the classroom that, kind of kept to himself and kind of felt like a ghost a lot of his life, just kind of sitting in the background and observing. So it's, kind of almost an emotional play for me, being able to get together a whole bunch of people that may have struggled having that connection with people over the years. And we all somehow ended up in crypto. And there's obviously some similarities and differences between all of us, but have a cool place where we can anonymously be ghosts together.
Nice, beautiful. And do you have any advice on how to be successful as a project here? Because this is your second project now, right?
Yes, yep. So this is the second project, Ghost Friends, the Genesis Collection, and now Ghost Friends Pixel Club. So, I mean, I guess my best advice is, under promise, over deliver whenever you can. Follow through with what you say you're going to follow through. Be genuine. And it's so easy to fake people that aren't being genuine, that are just out there for the quick grab, or or just trying to be someone that they're really not. So that's one of my biggest things, is put your heart into it. Don't just make an NFT for the sake of making an NFT. Make something that can at least resonate with you yourself. And chances are, if you make something that can at least relate or resonate with you, there's going to be someone out there that's going to want to mint it, because it'll probably speak to them as well. That I guess that's probably the best advice that I could give.
Great advice. Also, right now, if there's anyone who has any questions or comments for the ghosts or for Synesthesia, please request to speak, and we'll get you up. Synesthesia, I guess a similar question for you as well. You've been around since the very beginning. What have you seen artists, creators do to be successful, and what would you have any advice for them?
Well, there's kind of two parts to it. I'll just use Bad Kids as one example, and also ATF. So some projects that sort of don't promise anything, so to speak, they just, people like it for their art, and so is it. The community bonds, they gel, they create viral tweets over it, so on and so forth. Projects that don't sort of promise anything, I'm kind of, quite into. And then from the other aspects, it's just really just keeping up the comms. There's always...
This space was downloaded via spacesdown.com. Visit to download your spaces today.
In the Discord, you just got to make sure that, you get along with everyone. As Ghost said, don't overpromise, rather underdeliver. There's so many different varying factors to it, but the main thing is the community. You've got to make sure the community bonds. You don't have to tweet every single day. Just put out a tweet now and again. You don't have to remain completely silent for quite a long time. Even in Discord, I think that's quite important. Even just a good morning once a day, just to let people know that there's a pulse there. But yeah, community, 100%. That's it, and just market it, put it out there. It doesn't have to be super regularly, but I think that's the key. Community 101. That's it.
Yeah, and on the same boat, on the same note, the collaborations are really important. Stargaze and Kujira have a little bit of a romance going on there, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's helped a lot of the Kujiran projects here as well. I don't know if you have any comment on that, Ghosts.
Yeah, I can't speak obviously for the Kujira community at large, and I'm not part of the Kujira team. Just lucky enough to be part of a validator. But with that said, I completely believe there's a really large synergy between Kujira and Stargaze, especially as Kujira grows itself. I know there's at least 2 upcoming collections that'll be launching on Stargaze, but are more Kujira-based NFT projects. And I think that, it's kind of that we're stronger together piece of, if you can get community members to engage on the Kujira chain, and then those same community members are engaging on the Stargaze chain, we're making more friends, we're making more collaborations happen, and altogether it's just going to make both chains so much stronger in the end. Me just personally, Stargaze and Kujira are easily my 2 chains that I'm just completely infatuated with. There's nowhere else other than the 2 of those chains that really intrigue me. And now that we're seeing that kind of synergy happen between the 2 chains, I think that it's going to be extremely beneficial for both both of those respective chains on there. And that's really, I'll just go a little bit deeper for anyone who doesn't know with, Ghost Frenz, the Genesis collection. We really tried to make it so that it helped create that synergy a little bit in a very small manner. But we're very much so involved with Kujira and Stargaze, and our holders are such a great showing of that crossover. And I know for a fact, numerous Ghost Frenz holders that were on Stargaze that never had used Kujira started giving it a shot and looking at the different opportunities on Kujira, and vice versa. A lot of Kujirans that had not explored Stargaze started to take a look more at Stargaze and are now more actively involved. So I think the more that we can do to promote that cross collaboration between the two chains, it's only going to strengthen both.
Yeah. Also, I want to mention, I think that we got our first native USDC from Kujira. Like it was a tiny amount, but we got it.
Woohoo! Yeah. Last I checked, I don't know where we're at now, but last I checked, it was upwards of like 300,000 native USDC on Kujira chain. They're really the only place to get USDC in large quantity. $300,000 worth, large enough quantity of native USDC at the moment.
Yeah, very impressive. Synesthesia, similar to you, like, do you envision working with other creators on collaborations for your work? I know photography is like a little bit different in that sense, but how do you envision collaborating in the future for your work?
To be honest, I actually haven't really, the thought process hasn't really crossed my mind at the moment, just with, sort of starting out, just kind of find my way, sort of feel about what images resonate with people, perhaps the digital art aspect of it, as I sort of dabble with that might resonate more with people too. So I might find sort of separate communities, so to speak, for those. So I think as it progresses, and hopefully it progresses, pretty well, then I'll definitely look at that option. No two ways about it. So still early days, but nothing's off the list at all. Very excited to see what the future brings. I mean, sometimes you can't actually tell what's going to happen, which is quite nerve-wracking at the same time. But yeah, I'm super stoked.
Yeah, and were there any challenges or issues you faced going from being an active collector to creating your first project?
Not really. The Stargaze team was super helpful in the chats. The Stargaze testnet is very easy to use. Look, before I even ask questions, I normally try, and I've always been like that, I try and follow the documentation first and give it a go. But yeah, the testnet's very smooth. Graphene and Bonsai have been very helpful with me and Ghost, and answered numerous questions. And no, it's actually was a very smooth experience. And now that they have, the sort of the open edition and live auctions, it's opened up a lot more avenues where you don't have to just sit with sort of a rarity-driven collection per se. So now that it's sort of more bespoke, it allows for a lot more options. So yeah, very impressive, and I'm glad to be using it.
Yeah, and our Infinity Swap will be coming out soon, so that'll be like another fun thing you guys can play with. I know that we had one person come up, but if there's anybody else who's interested in asking a question or making a comment for the Ghosts, Synesthesia, or Stargaze, please pop up. You can also ask your question by replying to this thread, and we'll get you guys answered in there. Ghost, you were also the artist for this, right? When did you start doing art? This is a pixel collection, right? Is this your first pixel project?
Hey, so great question. To answer the first part, you asked when I first started doing art. I actually, much before I started into digital art, I've been a musician for most of my life. Gotten to play a lot of amazing shows, and and have some great, amazing times. Hung around a lot of painters and folks who like to do anything from glass blowing to drawing. Just really art focused most of my life. With that said, I had never done digital art prior to Ghost Frenz, the Genesis collection that we had done. So it was something really new and exciting. I had the idea for the NFT nomics, if you will, the initial NFT nomics, before I had the idea for the collection itself. And I just thought, this would be so much fun to try to incorporate art that, had some sort of a pegged value that holders could redeem for, and kind of gamify something where people could potentially arbitrage between a backed value and a floor price, and create some really just interesting opportunities in the future. So I put it together, and I grabbed out my iPad. I downloaded Procreate, which is just a fantastic program. There's so much capability within it for what you pay for it, and I just spent countless hours trying new things, and trying to figure out how to make everything work. And eventually I ended up with a very sloppy base character, and I just started kind of revising it slowly, and I got it to my base character that we ended up going with, and just slowly over months, built out the collection. I got ideas from looking at other NFT collections, but I tried to make sure that everything was, original, and not just a ripoff of some other collection. So, I mean, for me, it was really a learning curve, and just such a creative process. I mean, I'm sure someone could have done it in a quarter of the time that has experience with it, compared to the amount of time that I spent on the artwork for the initial collection. But it really made it that much more special to me in, seeing just trial and error. It was just such an experience. And now moving into Ghost Frenz Pixel Club, it's my first collection that I've ever released, as far as pixel artwork goes. As soon as I got the Procreate software, I started dabbling with the pixel art brushes and different settings that you can utilize to help foster it on there, which actually gives some really great options, because you can shade, not shade, but you can control the opacity of the pixel within Procreate. So that actually opened up some extra options that I didn't see available on other programs I was looking at, to make things be transparent and still be able to blend in with other pixels behind it. It was pretty cool. But anyways, so after Ghost Frenz, I immediately started work on a couple of different style pixel characters for Ghost Frenz Pixel Club, and I put those out to Ghost Frenz holders once I felt comfortable releasing them. And we took a vote and decided to go with the base character that everyone will be seeing once the collection launches. And I just, again, have spent a couple of months here now, with any spare moment that I get in this crazy thing that we all call life, just working on the collection and trying to make it fun and unique, and something that people haven't really seen. And it's definitely in my own style. I haven't personally I've seen ghost collections out there, a few pixel ghost collections, but I feel like ours is pretty unique. Maybe not as, I don't know, not as professional as others, but certainly unique from what else you'll see around. I know there are a lot of NFT collections out there on other chains that I've seen that are basically copy pasta of other collections that are all over different chains. And that's not really what my intent will ever be with any art that I release. Same thing with my musical career. I've only done original music. It's just part of kind of being an artist, I guess, and wanting to put a little bit of yourself into everything that you do. So many of the traits that are in Ghost Frenz Pixel Club have a lot of resonance with my own life, such as bags of medicine, cough, weed, joints, cigarettes, coffee, nunchucks, shooting guns, backpacking, things of that nature. Those are all things that I actually like to do in my real life. So I built a lot of the traits around those things, and just thought it would be kind of fun to insert a little bit of myself into the collection.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, so it's a little bit like a reflection of you and your personality. I do think it's really cool as well that you are experiencing other forms of art. Is that something we could maybe expect? Would you drop a song or an album or something on Stargaze?
Yeah, so I'm actively working. As much as I love Ghosts in the Chain, and I'll always be a part of it. It's my baby, but I am starting to branch out a little bit into just FN Ghost personal kind of pieces and collections. I did uh, one open edition already, dubbed Charlie the Cheeseburger. If there's anyone out there with a Charlie the Cheeseburger, you are on the whitelist for Ghost Friends Pixel Club. But anyways, Charlie the Cheeseburger, he was a really fun pixel art piece of this cheeseburger that just gained consciousness and became sentient, really. And it's me voiceovering, Charlie experiencing his first moments of really awakening as a person. So it's kind of fun and quirky. Some people think it's really, really creepy, and that's okay because I've gotten a lot of reactions from different people on it, and that's part of art. So that was a lot of fun. I am looking at doing a little bit more serious, I guess you would say, pieces. So I have one piece called The Edge of Infinity that does have an original music piece that I composed and recorded. So that's more of it's a charcoal, basically, more or less a charcoal brush that I used digital, but a digital charcoal brush set that I used to create this scene. And so that'll have the original music, and plan on releasing that as an open edition, or potentially as a one of one. I'm not sure yet. I'm still contemplating that. But I have a few other pieces that I've been working on that are in kind of that same charcoal style that will also have original music that was composed in the same time frame. So it's going to almost kind of be a collection unto itself of, there'll be 5 music tracks, and there'll be 5 different pieces of art, and together they'll make an instrumental EP. If you're a music fan, you'll know what an EP is. It's just a short album, basically, typically 3 to 5 songs. This will end up being a 5-song throughout the entire collection. And after that, I plan on working on some new music, probably in 100% completely, totally different style, and I might throw some vocals into those ones. I'm working on some stuff now and just seeing what happens.
Very cool. Yeah. So there's a lot coming from you soon. Synesthesia. Where next? I guess is a question for you. As in, where would you like to go photograph other wildlife or other nature next?
Well, I really don't have any personal preferences. It's basically what I decide on the day. Like this morning, I just popped up to a local nature reserve. I've, on vacation from work for a couple of days, so it was completely super random. Took a couple of pictures there. But ideally next year, I'd like to get back to the private game lodge. I normally go there once a year. Past years, and with COVID and stuff like that, it's been a bit difficult to get out there. But yeah, next year, I normally do it annually, so that's my big trip that I'd love to get planned, and yeah, maybe for about 3-4 days. And yeah, I'm absolutely an element. Early morning game drives, just nature and wildlife and a camera. Happy as a pig, and you know what. So yeah, really looking forward to that.
Do you have any preference or comment on shooting on film versus digital?
I actually like both. I'm primarily digital, not sort of like the old school in terms of the film, but I love analog and film photography. It obviously depends on different tastes, but again, they can convey so many different images. I mean, like the film can come across as very sort of nostalgic and vintage, which I love as well. But from my side, it's purely digital. And then, if I look to do some sort of abstract or film like, then I can always, I compose that in either Photoshop or, use various programs to get something that sort of relates to me and gives me a certain vibe that I wanted to sort of exude, if I can use that term. So I play around a lot, sort of after the fact in Lightroom and stuff like that. So digital is my way personally.
Yeah, no, I feel that I shoot a lot of digital, but I've back in the day I've shot like 16 millimeter like motion picture, and recently I wanted to try medium format film photography. I've never done it
Yeah.
myself before, but I think I'd like the process of it a lot.
That's the thing, yeah. It's very tactile. It's very personal, and also, like also with film. I mean, you've got, for example, you've got like 20 shots, and that's it. You've got to make it count. So you've got to like think a little bit more. With digital, it's easy just to I'll take 100 shots, whatever the case is. If you're not really into composing or just a sort of a happy snapper. But I'm very in awe of people who do film photography and stuff like that. But also from a time investment perspective, I'm on the go all the time, just trying to keep up with everything Stargaze and Cosmos related, and with my NFT now and photography and work. So a lot to trying to juggle with, but yeah.
Yeah, no, and I know exactly what you mean. For the majority of my photos are taken with my smartphone because it's always with me these days.
Yeah, oddly enough, with my smartphone, I actually hardly ever take pictures with it, which is quite weird. But I've got to have a full camera in my hand, and then I sort of get into that whole flow, and then I just sort of like,
Yeah,
I
and
just
also with
cheeky,
when you're
yeah.
outside shooting these animals, right? You kind of do have to make a lot of images because you never know when the scene's going to end.
Well, that's more so, if sort of a lion's going to start chasing after impala or whatever the case is, you got to be on the go, and you just got to like burst those shoots. But my thing is more animal. I'm more into sort of like animal/portrait photography. So, as my images start coming out and people see more of them, I like capturing the portrait with not much background. I like it very clear and crisp. I like almost like when you look at it, it's sort of talking to you. You're looking into its eyes. So I've got a different approach also when it comes to wildlife, not necessarily just action. It's definitely the sort of the more portrait and inspiring images, if I can use that terminology.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Well, guys, do we have any more questions for the ghosts of Synesthesia? Please request to speak, and we'll get you guys answered. Also, any questions for Stargaze as we wrap up our space here? Maybe not. Do you guys have any last words for us? Anything you'd like to mention before we leave everyone?
I've got something to say, probably. I think it's just a general comment. I'm sure other people can also maybe resonate with it too. But particularly with Stargaze, I mean, we're all going through this heck of a long bear market, and I must say it was like a sort of like a blessing in disguise. Just sort of figuring out NFTs, minting one. I was one of those people that said, it's just a picture, before I even knew what was going on. But I must say, throughout the whole bear market and I tell you what, Stargaze has been absolutely just amazing because you're meeting all these fantastic community members, you're making loads of friends, interacting. No one on Stargaze, hardly ever see mention of a price. So it's been an absolutely fantastic, in air quotes, distraction from, just the sort of the quiet markets. And you never see people sort of bitching and moaning for the most part. So kudos to Stargaze. And they've got a very tight community. So absolutely brilliant to be here. Love it.
Yeah, I'll just close in saying that I completely agree with Heisenberg on that, and thank you, Heisenberg. I just want to say thank you for your upkeep on different projects, getting the word around. I think that you do a great job on all of that.
Thank you.
You're absolutely a value add to the community, 100%. So keep it up, man.
Thanks.
But I just want to give a general thanks to Stargaze. The team has just been incredible through my entire experience from, starting out as just a collector to moving into a creator and trying to, voice my opinion. I've only been met with, reception. Of course, there are going to be people that are not going to agree with your opinion, and that's fine. We can talk it out in a civil way. And I haven't seen, some of the freakouts that other chains may have. There's a lot more drama. Stargaze is just that place where we can all come together, be friends. Even if we don't want to be friends, we can respect each other and do what's best for the chain and the community. And it's so great to be able to see that level of actual decentralization and seeing that the community really does have a voice and a say. All of crypto likes to tout decentralization when, as most of us who have been around for quite a while know, a lot of it is smoke and mirrors. And I've been involved in crypto for quite a while, and I've seen a lot of projects come and go, and I've seen the scams. I've been through bear market, and it has its moments in crypto, but to find a place like Stargaze and Kujira, between those two chains is just such a breath of refreshing air, seeing developers and teams that truly care and want to push it forward. They're actively developing constantly. They're always updating the community, and they're giving the community a voice and a chance to really help improve the chain and not just go about doing whatever the hell they want and dumping relentless token upon token on the community and draining value instead of adding value. So I just want to say thank you to the Stargaze team and also to the community for just being so welcoming and supportive to everybody. And I think that it's up to all of us to make sure that we continue on with that and we make Stargaze the friendliest chain in all of crypto. I don't see anywhere else that's quite like it. So kudos to everyone that helps make that happen, and let's keep it up.
And thank you very much. That was well said for both you guys. We appreciate the kind words at Stargaze. And I'd also like to, I guess, shout out to some of the folks who are here, Stardy, Sirkin, and Bonsai from Sunnyside, who help the project's launch every week. Without them, we wouldn't be here. So thanks, guys. And with that said, everyone have a great Freshman Friday tomorrow. Heisenberg, Synesthesia, and Ghost Friends, thank you so much for coming on and having a great conversation with us. Really, really a pleasure to talk to you, Heisenberg, just to see you everywhere all the time. Just such a massive supporter and friend to everyone in the community, and Ghost Friends, loving these pixel ghosts. So everyone, thanks again for joining, and we'll see you next week. Have a great Freshman Friday. Bye.
This space was downloaded via spacesdown.com. Visit to download your spaces today.